Hi everyone and welcome to my recent game collecting video of August and September releases. I always keep saying that I would like to make these more frequently, so the videos would be shorter and I would be talking about games that are more relevant at the time I'm making these. But this time I feel like I'm even more late than usual. Reason being partly because I've been playing a bunch of older games and also partly because there was at least a couple games that I was planning to just quickly try out, but they were so much fun that I couldn't stop playing them until I was done with them completely. So anyway, let's get started finally with these somewhat older recent games. So starting with the only August release that I have, Soul Hackers 2, which I got as this limited edition. I've actually never played any of the Devil Summoner games, so unfortunately I can't compare this to those games. So I will be comparing this mainly to Shin Megami Tensei main games and also Persona games. So yeah, Devil Summoner games, kind of like Persona, are just like basically spin-off games to Shin Megami Tensei mainline series. And I would say that this game feels like, at least to my personal taste, it takes like parts that I enjoy in Persona games and also parts from Shin Megami Tensei that I enjoy. For easy example, your party, you have these story-driven, unique characters in your party, just like in Persona games, but you have complete freedom of choosing everyone's demons. So you have complete freedom to customize your entire party, not only just your main character. So it has that freedom to customize, just like in Shin Megami Tensei games. That is exactly what I've been hoping when I'm playing Persona games. I wish for more freedom to customize my party members, and when I'm playing Shin Megami Tensei games I'm hoping for more interesting party members instead of just those demons that you keep constantly replacing with newer ones. So yeah, it has a lot of small things like that where I feel like it's perfect mix of Persona and Shin Megami Tensei games. So yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot. Yes, also I enjoy the whole sci-fi theme of the game. I love the colorful setting and the city and all that, costumes and so on. Maybe one thing that feels a little bit weaker point is the whole side content dungeon, where you are kind of like hacking through your party members' memories, and that whole dungeon system feels like it has this really repetitive design, especially the environment feels really boring after playing it for a while. So yeah, small things like that make it feel like it is smaller budget title compared to like Persona or Shin Megami Tensei games. But still, I really enjoy that. If you enjoy either Persona or Shin Megami Tensei games, I definitely would recommend giving this game a try. And when I'm finally done with this game, I definitely want to try the older Devil Summoner games that I have completely missed before this one. Especially the original Soul Hackers game. Probably I'm more interested in the Saturn version than the 3DS remake, but who knows which version I will be trying out at some point in the future. But next to September releases, starting with Made in Abyss, Binary Star Falling into Darkness. And this game came with this little cute acrylic artworks that, yeah, quite cute. Simple but fun item to put on yourself. So, right from the cover art, I feel like there might be some confusion about how game with such a cute cover art can have highest possible age rating. That can be quite confusing, but if you are familiar with source material, either the manga or animated show of Made in Abyss, you probably can guess why the age rating is so high. So yeah, there can be some graphic scenes related to the whole curse system, and also some of the themes going on in the story. Those can be somewhat, how should I say, horrifying. But yeah, I love the animated series, and it feels like perfect setting for video game also, because the whole idea of going into this unknown abyss in middle of the city and exploring it and going deeper and deeper, and yeah, it feels like a perfect setting for the game. So for a game. So the game has two modes. Hello Abyss mode, which follows the story of animated show. It only has like first half of the first season, so it's more like a tutorial to the game system, and after that you can play Deep in Abyss mode, which has this game's original story, and you play it as you can make your own customized character. And to be honest, I feel like while it was fun to see the familiar characters and hear voice actors from the show, was fun in the Hello Abyss mode, I feel like the whole mode gives this kind of bad first impression to the game because it is like tutorial segment, and it always makes you do exactly certain things, and you have to like keep rushing through the areas, and you have to play in a specific way, so you don't have much freedom. And so I feel like it gave me a kind of bad first impression of the game, but as soon as I started the Deep in Abyss mode, which is complete opposite, and it gives you a lot of freedom to choose how you play and in which order you explore the areas, and customize your playstyle with different tools and so on. I really liked the Deep in Abyss mode. So yeah, I've been enjoying the game a lot so far. I'm kind of worried about the end game content in the game because of the story, how horrifying the game can get towards the end. But yeah, so far I've been enjoying it a lot. Maybe like the best part of the game is definitely like the exploring different areas and looking for those relics and so on. I feel like the combat is somewhat, how should I say, it's not very fluid. It is kind of clunky. It can feel a little bit like awkward at times, but I feel like that is kind of complete point of the combat system, because you are playing as these little children. Of course, they're not excellent soldiers or anything like that, so it makes sense. So the combat isn't like very high speed and so on. But yeah, as a fan of the source material, I love the game, and I wonder why I haven't started watching the second season yet. Maybe I'm too worried what's going to happen in that deepest part of the abyss. But yeah, excellent game. I've been enjoying it so far. And next, Trinity Trigger, which came with this cutely packaged soundtrack CD with 10 tracks in total. So it's kind of like spiritual successor for Secret of Mana. Is that the SNES game? I think it was Secret of Mana. But yeah, and it definitely shows how it's so similar in so many ways, and it has many same developers in the team. So yeah, if you like Secret of Mana, definitely check this game when it comes out in West. I believe the English release is going to be early next year or something like that, if you can play the game in Japanese. But yeah, even though I'm not, honestly, I'm not world's biggest fan of Secret of Mana, I feel like I have some similar problems with this game because of how similar it is. I still enjoyed it so much I couldn't stop playing it before I had done all the story and also all the post-game challenges. So yeah, especially even if I can enjoy it so much, I suppose everyone who enjoys Secret of Mana can enjoy it as well. It comes with a nice little manual, so let's go through it while I'm rambling. So just like in Secret of Mana, here you also have 3 main characters, and I feel like it would be perfect for 3-player multiplayer game. I feel like that is one of my problems with the game. The AI can be somewhat inconsistent. Sometimes they dodge perfectly all the attacks, but there are some attack types with some of the bosses that AI simply can't handle. The AI characters just keep taking hits from those some specific attacks, and that causes, I feel like, some unintentional difficulty spikes here and there during the game. So yeah, I feel like it would be much better with human players instead of AI partners. And you have a bunch of different weapon styles that you unlock when you are going through the game, and with just a couple button presses you can quickly swap between the weapons. And while all your party members can use all of the weapon types, all of the characters also have their weapon type, favorite weapons that they have more like special abilities with, like the main characters. Yeah, favorites sharp weapons. The second character favorites long range weapons, and last character focuses on blunt weapons. So for optimal play you might consider using those favorite weapon styles for every character, but still everyone can use all the weapons if needed. And during some of the boss fights it can be useful to have everyone with specific weapons, because of the bosses have weaknesses to specific weapons and so on. So yeah, the whole weapon system is really fun to work with, swapping between the enemies, the different weapons to exploit the weaknesses and so on. Funnily hidden some post-game challenge content here on the manual. So yeah, definitely the idea of being spiritual successor to Secret of Mana shows here. It is so similar in the gameplay, and also the music is great and so on. So yeah, at least I enjoyed the game a lot. And next, Fairy Fencer F Refrain Chord, which I got also as this little limited edition. Sorry, I have to take a little sip of water. So Fairy Fencer F Refrain Chord is sequel to the previous Fairy Fencer F game, but this time it's more like tactics style game, rather than more traditional JRPG. You have returning characters from the previous game, but also some new ones. And yeah, the dialogue is really funny on some of the side scenes, just like in the previous game. And gameplay wise, the combat system, it is fun to customize your characters, because you have these like main characters that take part in the combat, and also you have these sub characters that you can kind of connect to the main characters to help customize, like give more skills and so on. So for example, if you have sub character that has heal ability, you can give that heal skill for any character in any of your main characters, or you can give that heal skill to main character that has already her own heal skill, and combining those two different heal skills to heal plus, so she has this more powerful healing spell. I like that idea of having the freedom to choose if you want to make your characters into this jack of all trades idea, or if you want to min-max that one specific playstyle for your character. I always like that idea in customization of tactics style games. And one kind of special idea in the combat system are these like singer characters. Both you and your enemy can have these, and they can suddenly start singing during the combat, giving like buffs for your entire party, as long as they are anywhere near of the singer. That is kind of fun idea of having like this more passive character in combat that only gives buffs to your party and doesn't directly take place in the combat. That is kind of unique style of making a character. Of course, there's always been buffers and debuffers in games like this, but I feel like it is kind of unique way to make that type of character. And especially because as soon as they start singing, also the background music of the combat changes. That is a fun little detail. So yeah, so far I've been enjoying it. I haven't played huge amount of it so far, mainly because this year there's been so many tactics style games. I feel a little bit overwhelmed, so maybe I'll finish this at some point later on. And speaking of tactics and strategy games, I feel like this was perfect style of strategy game after so many turn-based tactics games. So the DioField Chronicle. So instead of turn-based tactics game, it's real-time strategy. For the most part, it is real-time. The time stops every time you are giving commands or during some of the attack animations of more of the skills that have cooldowns and so on. So yeah, because being so kind of burnout of tactics style games, I feel like this was perfect, like variety after tactics games. So it was perfect time to launch, at least for me, this game. And so far I've been enjoying it a lot. I haven't played huge amount of it so far, but from what I've seen, I've enjoyed it a lot. The story was a little bit confusing at first because it was introducing so many characters and not exactly explaining the whole conflict situation going on. But as soon as you unlock the library, you can take your time to go through the entries of the character introductions and so on. At that point I felt like, okay, now I kind of get it, what the story is about and all the characters and so on. And I especially like the whole style of the the setting style, and like the characters' costume designs and so on. It has this really distinct style to it, and all the characters feel like they definitely belong into the same world. Some of the games sometimes feel like they have too many different styles going on, but this game, the costumes and so, they look really nice and still looking like they make sense belonging to this world. So yeah, I've been enjoying it, and at the beginning it felt like the game was a little too easy because you are doing so much damage with your skills and you have so short cooldowns, but as soon as the game starts to introduce more like these boss characters, you are happy that the cooldowns are so short, because yeah, those boss characters can be much more challenging after so many of the more basic weak enemies. So yeah, maybe the beginning was a little bit unbalanced, how it was so easy at first, but then suddenly spiking the difficulty up with some of the bosses. But yeah, I can't wait to see more of it. And especially see more of the characters. I have only unlocked like 6 characters so far, but I believe there is quite many characters, at least another 6 more if I'm not incorrect, based on the skill tree that you can take a look at very beginning of the game. Was there even more? I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, so far I've been enjoying it a lot and I can't wait to play more of it. There's not too many real-time strategy games on consoles, or even on PC these days. But anyway, let's continue to Little Witch Nobeta, that I got as this huge limited edition box. I was so surprised by this limited edition. I love it. And I was also very positively surprised by the game itself. I didn't know much about it until I saw it. Saw the pre-orders for it and decided to buy because the trailer for it looked so cute, and I'm so happy that I ended up getting it, because yeah, it is a really fun game and especially cute. The character designs are great. So I would describe it as like a magic based third person shooter with some emphasis on like dodging enemy attacks and so on. So yeah, gameplay is quite fun as long as you are unlocking new spells and so on. Towards end, when you have already unlocked everything, maybe it gets a little bit more repetitive, but that might have been because I completely misunderstood some of the more advanced mechanics in the combat. But yeah, maybe it has like this more little bit like indie feel to it, because the game is rather short and maybe some of the environments are not hugely detailed, but still I love the character designs and also yeah, even though I'm not a huge fan of shooters in in general, and yeah, even though it's magic based, it still feels like usual shooter. I still enjoyed the game because it was so short. If it would have been longer, maybe I would have enjoyed it so much towards the end. But yeah, really fun game and really cute characters and so on. And also the story was, even though it's rather simple, it was enjoyable to see the ending of it. So yeah, rather simple game but still enjoyable, and I believe it's also more on the cheaper side, so it's easy to recommend it. And next is already the last game, Valkyrie Elysium. I actually haven't played any of the older games in the series, which I'm a little bit ashamed of. I feel like Valkyrie profiles, are they? I feel like those are really popular RPGs. So I definitely should try them out, especially after enjoying this game. But the big difference that some people probably won't like is that instead of being traditional turn-based RPG, this one is, as it says, high-speed action. So it's like action game, kind of almost like Devil May Cry games. Maybe not as high speed as those games, but still, like especially the whole soul chain where you are like pulling yourself towards enemies between between the different enemies in middle of combo and so on. But yeah, even though the whole idea of making traditional RPG into action game, maybe because I haven't played the previous games, I was able to enjoy this quite a lot. I feel like the combat is really fun, as long as you again, as long as you are unlocking new weapons that have quite distinct different playstyle between them, and also unlocking new these divine arts skills and so on. Maybe at the like halfway point through the game, when you have already unlocked most of the things and the rest of the unlocks are like more higher tier versions of the arts that you have already unlocked, so they are just more powerful versions of old skills. Maybe at that point it starts to become a little bit too repetitive, especially because those late levels are rather long, and there's so many enemies. But yeah, for the most part I really enjoyed the game. They even released some free DLC content for more story, but at least so far I haven't played that content yet. And the game comes with a couple artwork cards. I suppose these are intended as postcards, but who's gonna use them as that? So yeah, I would say really fun action game, and it definitely made me want to give a try to those older Valkyrie games. So yeah, really fun. And that's everything from August and September. As I said, really late with this video, but I suppose it doesn't matter too much. And still continuing this whole idea of this year being full of tactics and strategy games. It's been so lovely year for me with video games because I love tactics and strategy games, and also bunch of great more traditional RPGs as well. But yeah, I guess that's everything this time. Thanks for watching and bye!